Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, agents. I am Mountie Carl, and this is a Let's Talk on The Division right here on Gun Brothers Gaming. And today we are going to go ahead and cover the state of the game and the good, the bad, and the ugly that they talked about. I will reserve my opinion for later and kind of just add some editorial pieces as we go along as to what I think. But for the most part, I just want to get through this stuff and inform you about some of the more recent changes that they're going to make to it. Most importantly, probably the worst one, which is the delay of 1.3 on the PS4. I'm very sorry for all the PS4 players. Not only do you get screwed out of the underground for a whole month, but now you aren't even going to get 1.3, and there's no estimation as to when 1.3 is going to get pushed out. And they said they're going to try and get it out as soon as possible, so it could be 1 day, it could be 2 days. Most likely you're going to wait a week at the minimum and get it on the next cycle of maintenance, and at most you're going to get it on August 2nd. And I'm sorry for PS4 players to drop that news on you, but if you didn't hit the state of the game, that is the first thing they opened with. Now let's go ahead and move into the main topic that they wanted to talk about, which is the weapon balancing. And they really said that they weren't going to go ahead and nerf anything, but it seems like as they talked more and more that the more and more stuff they really wanted to nerf. So let's go ahead and kind of run down the agenda of this. The first thing we're going to add is they're adding unique bonuses to each weapon family. Second thing, increased shotgun damage output. The third thing, decreasing the damage of the AUG and the Vector. The fourth thing, making adjustments to the M1A, which is basically just an accuracy nerf. We'll introduce you to the new weapons, and then we'll talk about the recalibration of weapons and the changes to special ammo, which all of it is pretty detrimental to the game, and some of it is very providential to the game. So there's going to be good, there's going to be bad, there's going to be ugly. Nobody's going to really like everything, but there are some definite good stuff, whatever that means, in this. So sorry, my English is broken right now. So the choice of weapon had a huge impact on the playstyle, and Massive has said that they want more variety because everybody's running around using SMGs and marksman rifle, and so they're hoping that the giving you different weapon bonuses is going to kind of change the way you roll in the Dark Zone and in PvP. So let's go ahead and talk about those weapon bonuses. So SMGs is, we already have a bonus on the SMG, which is crit hit chance, and that is changing because of the new 60% cap, which was instituted, I believe, in the last patch to the game. You don't even need this anymore because there's so many things that give you the crit hit chance from it being a perk on the weapon, which is, I believe it's vicious or deadly. One of the two gives you a plus 25 or 24.5% to crit hit chance or something insane like that. And then there's also, all the pieces of gear that give you like 5% crit hit chance and stuff like that. So you're going to max out at 60, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get to that 60% unless you have really good gear, but it's getting taken off of the gun so that it doesn't reach that 60% as quickly as it is. Now they're replacing it with crit hit damage, so it's actually much more useful if you were at that 60% mark. So now you're going to go ahead and get that crit hit damage bonus rather than the crit hit chance bonus. So it's definitely going to be 6 in one, half dozen of the other. We're just swapping stats around, and you're going to have to make a little bit of a change to how you do. Now LMGs will receive a bonus, and that bonus is that it's going to increase the damage to targets at cover by 25%. Massive has said that they want the design of the LMGs to force people into cover and being able to control areas with the large magazines. So what you're going to basically do is get a lot more damage out of your thing. It's basically having Savage Gloves. Now I don't know what it's going to do to Savage Gloves. Is it going to increase it by 50%? Well, people, it's definitely going to see if we can stack that. So if you can get 50% increased damage from LMGs by using an LMG and using the Savage Gloves, that's going to be insane. You're going to see a lot more people running with LMGs in the Dark Zone and outside of the Dark Zone just for that simple fact. Now let's go ahead and talk about shotguns. Now they're going to get a stagger bonus against NPCs, and NPCs only. Players will not be staggered, mostly because they haven't figured out how to work the game mechanic in that. And once they do, they have said that they will probably put that in game, just seeing how it works. So shotguns are also receiving a buff to their base damage, and that's going to scale on the weapons level and up to a maximum of 30%. And let's go ahead and we'll move right along to assault rifles receiving a bonus to enemy armor damage, and this will allow assault rifles to basically just whittle away the enemy armor damage. So you're going to use your assault rifle to attack enemies until you get them down to their life bar, and then you're going to go ahead and just kill them down. So it's going to make them a much more powerful, much more useful weapon in PvE situations, not really good in PvP. So that's really not a change to help you out in the dark zone. It's going to just help you out in PvP or PvE, and there are no changes to the marksman rifle. So additionally, they did bring up the damage to the shotguns and allowing them to reach a level that is more on par with other weapons while they're in the game's optimal range. Now, these changes are to allow you now to select your weapon loadout based around your preferred playstyle rather than the DPS value of a weapon. Now let's go ahead, let's talk about the AUG and the Vector really quick. It's clear to Massive that the AUG and the Vector are two of the most sought after weapons in the game, and with 1.3 it's going to change because the higher max damage that they have, which makes them superior weapons to assault rifles, and Massive basically sees this. You know, anybody can see it. So to address the damage level, they are going to make the change to reduce the damage done by AUGs and Vectors by 10%. So if you have 10,000 damage going out on your AUG, you're now going to have 9,000. So right now mine's at 11.8, so I will have basically a 10,000 point AUG or whatever it is. It's not going to really do much but decrease the amount of DPS. So as they said, SMGs are meant to be a close quarter combat weapon that gain more from critical strikes and therefore rely on hitting the target with as many bullets as possible. So you're going to rely on that critical hit chance more, and by increasing the critical hit damage that we talked about earlier, it's going to mean that it's going to do more damage over the long term. So I think it's going to balance out in the long run, so it's not that detrimental to the actual weapon, and we'll probably still see a fair number of people using it. You're just not going to be able to use it as you were before. So, and then the M1A, they are increasing the minimum accuracy cap on the M1A. So when you shoot just constantly over and over again, the crosshair is going to grow and give you a much wider size than it previously did, making it less and less accurate as you spam it. So no more machine gun M1A, and you're going to want to do a little bit more of a more calculated shot. So it's going to be, you know, if you're firing it over and over again, then you're going to see, you know, your bullets miss more often. So it might put more of a emphasis on using an M44 or the other basically the other marksman rifles in the game. So those are the major changes to the weapons and the balancing and the nerfing that are happening in the 1.3 patch. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the new weapons. So with Underground, they're also introducing a few new weapon types, and when I say Underground, it's really the 1.3 patch is introducing new weapon types. Underground has nothing to do with the weapon types being in the game. PS4 players, PC players, when you get the 1.3 patch, you will get the new weapons. It is not solely for the Underground players. So each one is going to have its own balancing relative to its weapon family, as well as a unique talent. They're basically just putting a unique talent on each of these new weapons, as opposed to what was going on before where you just got 3 random talents. So the shotgun, which is an exotic weapon called the Showstopper, and it's going to be a fully automatic shotgun, with the perk being that the more you shoot, the better your accuracy gets. So if you just go ahead and hold it down, it's going to act like an LMG, and you're going to have just a stream of bullets going down. The G36, when no skills are on cooldown, your weapon damage is increased by a certain percentage. Let me see if I can find that. Yes, the talent is called Focus, and it gives you a damage buff when no skills are on cooldown. The SVD marksman rifle, which I saw in the game, it was called the Paratrooper SVD. There's a talent called Decisive, and when you kill a target, the next shot will be a guaranteed critical hit. And then there's the PP-19 SMG with a new talent called Hurry. which means the more critical hits you have, the faster your reload will be. Not really an issue with SMGs. They already reload fairly fast, so I'm not sure why this is going to be very much a factor. So these weapons will always drop with these talents, and they will always have those talents on them, plus 2 other random talents. So RNG be with you when you get them. Now let's talk about special ammo nerf really quick. So the special ammo nerf, the explosive rounds, they will mimic the bullet damage now instead of giving you like 100,000 damage when you use it with an M44. So if you shoot somebody with an M44 and you do 15,000 damage, the explosive bullet's going to do 15,000 damage, and you're basically going to have a 30,000 damage perk. So no more one-shotting people in the DZ, even though now it's much harder to even one-shot people. In a lot of these, the emphasis really is on making people not die as fast. It's quite funny. The LMG, people are going to be using the LMG. I guarantee it with the Savage Gloves, 50% damage increase is going to be huge, so with targets out of cover. So we'll see how that works if that perk stacks. But and then we have the incendiary bullet, which got nerfed, so the time it takes is going to be, so originally it's a 10-second timer, now it's going to be a 3-second timer, and that's pretty much it. So I believe that, and they did that because the incendiary grenades, even the fire from the incendiary grenades doesn't last that long. Now you're going to see it lasts longer, or lasts, it's going to be less time, incendiary grenades, more time. So, and now finally on to the one thing that Massive actually put into this patch that shows they were listening to the community. You will be able to recalibrate your weapon talents, so that's great. So I don't think that you're going to be able to recalibrate the free weapon talent, the one at the bottom that is free, but you're going to be able to recalibrate one of them. And sadly, they're introducing a new currency. It seems like they have like 500 currencies in the game now. And these currencies are going to be called weapon kit, and they'll be able to be looted, and you'll be able to get them in caches and stuff like that. And it's not just a weapons kit, you're also going to need to use Phoenix credits. So not only are you going to need a new currency, you're going to need your old currencies as well. And they might as well just, I don't know why they keep adding these stupid currencies to everything, and this is where my opinion really comes in. I'm so sick of all the different currencies they add in that it's getting ridiculous. So please just stop with the madness. Like, your currencies that are currently in the game are worthless right now. People have 2,000 Phoenix credits they're never going to use, except for maybe in 1.3 when they start able to recalibrate their weapons. But that's really all that I have to say about that. So at least that Massive listened, to the community on the whole changing and recalibrating your weapon talent. So I applaud you on that. I don't applaud you on putting another useless currency in the game that just constantly, you can make it call it weapon parts or something like that, which allow you to recalibrate it. Don't call it a currency. That just means that there's another currency, and it just shows that there was some incompetence to somebody along the way, and they go, I know, we can just fix it by putting in another currency. Currencies are going to come and go. I have a feeling that they're going to find out what works for currencies and just put them in the game and take them out of the game. Put them in the game, take them out of the game. But that's really the only thing I'm going to have an opinion on. Just sick of the currencies and the constant getting them from here, getting them from there. Now we have intel for HVTs. Now we have underground intel. Now we have this intel. Now we have this currency. We have that currency. We got DZ currency. We got regular currency. It's maddening because all these currencies don't mean anything. Really, there should be 1 or 2 currencies, and you should be able to use it for everything. You shouldn't get currency based on where it is. If you really wanted to do that, make an underground currency, make a just so that you have places that you can spend it on, something like that. Either way, I'm just tired of all the currencies. They need to get rid of them all and just make one solid currency for everything. I know that will solve the majority of people's confusion with this game if it wasn't already confusing. Anyways, that has been my time. Thank you so much. I'm very excited for 1.3. It's coming up really quickly. We're less than a week away from it, and I'm looking forward to tuning in on Monday to see what the state of the game or the update for Underground is, and hopefully things are going to change around on Monday or Tuesday actually when we get this Underground and we kind of see how it is fully and how it's fleshed out and how many times we're able to run through it. And I really want to see the first time somebody actually gets a repeat dungeon from the random dungeon generator. So that'll be awesome to see. I bet you it'll be months away before someone actually goes, "Oh, I remember that one. This dungeon's this way," and stuff like that. Anyways, that's been my time. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video informative, please leave a like on this video. It helps us out, pushes us to the top, gets more people in here, and we can create more videos. And if you haven't, please subscribe if you want all the latest update on the news on the Division and other games that we do. I know that I've been covering the Division a lot. I also have a lot of Overwatch videos in the pipes that I'm doing right now. I just haven't had time to do them. So thank you very much. I've been Mounty Curl. This has been a Division Let's Talk right here on Gun Brothers Gaming. We will talk to you all next time. Agent out.